Welcome to Max Premieres. This month brings back the returns the fandom has been waiting months for, adaptations nobody knew they needed, and premieres ranging from the darkest Nordic noir to the strangest horse race of the 19th century. There's something for everyone. Action, anime, crime, drama, superheroes, and adventure. Today we're going through the 15 biggest premieres of March across all platforms, from the one making the least noise to the one setting the internet on fire. But before we start the video, it would mean a lot if you took a moment to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Number 12, Ted Season 2. The most foul-mouthed teddy bear in television history is back for his second year of high school. Ted is the prequel series to Seth MacFarlane's films, set in 1994, where the bear still lives with John Bennett during his teenage years. The first season worked surprisingly well as a situational comedy, adult humor, 90s nostalgia, and the dynamic between a normal teenager and a teddy bear who acts like the worst possible best friend. In this second season, John is in his senior year of high school, which brings new pressures: college, relationships, the future. Seth MacFarlane voices Ted and also produces, so the tone stays completely faithful to the original films. Max Burkholder returns as John. The series has a solid handle on absurd humor and never pretends to be more than what it is. For fans of MacFarlane's style of comedy who want something lighter than Family Guy, this delivers. Those who connected with the first season will find the same energy here, and the 1994 setting continues to be one of its strongest assets. Number 11. Outlander Season 8. Outlander is one of the great love stories of modern television. Claire Randall, a World War II nurse, touches a circle of stones in Scotland and travels 180 years into the past, where she meets Jamie Fraser, a Scottish warrior, and her life changes forever. What began as a time travel, romance became one of the most beloved historical dramas of the last decade, with millions of devoted followers around the world. In this final season, the story reaches the American Revolution. Jamie and Claire, after everything they have lived through, face their last great chapter at a moment when a new nation is being born, and the world they know is about to change forever. Sam Hohen and Catriona Balfe say goodbye to their characters across these 10 episodes. For anyone who has followed the series from the beginning, this final season is mandatory. The performances have only deepened over 8 seasons, and the Revolutionary War setting gives the farewell a historical weight that fits everything this story has always been about. Number 10. Rooster. Bill Lawrence is the man behind Scrubs, Ted Lasso, and Shrinking, 3 series that share one thing in common. They look like simple comedies on the surface and quietly devastate you when you least expect it. Rooster is his newest project, and this time he brings Steve Carell back to television in a role that moves well away from the Michael Scott everyone knows. Carell plays a writer who has spent years distant from his daughter, and the series kicks off when he shows up on the college campus where she studies, using reconnection as his excuse. What follows mixes the awkwardness of that reunion with campus situations, sharp dialogue, and Lawrence's signature ability to talk about serious things with a smile on his face. Charlie Clive plays the daughter, alongside Danielle Deadwyler, Phil Dunster, and John C. McGinley. The combination of Carell with Lawrence is one of the most promising in comedy this year on paper. The trailer landed well. That said, it remains to be seen whether the execution sustains that level across all 10 episodes or peaks early. Number 9. Young Sherlock. Sherlock Holmes is 19 years old, studying at Oxford, and already the most irritatingly brilliant person in any room he walks into. Before the cases, before Watson, before Baker Street, there is a young man who sees the world in a way no one else can replicate and who still doesn't quite know what to do with that gift. Guy Ritchie, the director behind the Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey Jr., serves as executive producer, which gives the series a more cinematic energy than most television right from the start. Hero Fiennes Tiffin, known for his role in After, plays this young Sherlock, and the casting decision makes sense. The character needs someone with presence, but also that soft arrogance that never quite becomes unlikable. The series is based on Andrew Lane's novels and explores the early cases that shaped the most famous detective in literature. For audiences who enjoy the origins of classic characters and the atmosphere of Victorian England, this is made to order. The premise is strong and the production values look the part. Number 8. Marshals, a Yellowstone story. The Yellowstone universe keeps expanding. Taylor Sheridan has spent years building an entire franchise around Montana, the Duttons, and the modern American West, and this spin-off takes a different road than the ones before it. Case Dutton, one of the most beloved characters from the original series, leaves the family ranch and joins the United States Marshals, the federal agents responsible for enforcing the law in the country's most difficult corners. Luke Grimes steps back into the role he built over 5 seasons of Yellowstone, this time as the undisputed lead. Alongside him is Joel Kinnaman, one of the most reliable action drama actors on television, and Gil Birmingham, who also comes from the original universe. What's interesting here is the format. Instead of the family and political drama of Yellowstone, this is an action procedural, with different cases each week inside a larger ongoing narrative. 13 episodes give the series room to develop both sides of that equation. For fans of the Dutton universe, it's essential, and for those who never watched Yellowstone, it's a relatively friendly entry point. The name alone brings a built-in audience. Number 7. Imperfect Women. 3 friends, 20 years of friendship, and one of them turns up dead. Elizabeth Moss, Kerry Washington, and Kate Mara form the central trio of this series, and that cast alone justifies the attention. The 3 play women who have spent decades together, who know each other like no one else does, and who now have to deal with the death of the woman who was the heart of their group. The murder investigation slowly unravels layers of secrets none of them wanted exposed. The series is based on Araminta Hall's novel and carries the same energy as Big Little Lies: complex women, friendships with hidden fractures, and a mystery that isn't just about who killed whom, but about who these people really are beneath the surface. Moss, who has been one of television's finest actresses since The Handmaid's Tale, leads the cast with a naturalness that makes everything around her work. Washington provides the emotional counterweight. Mara builds the most closed off of the 3 characters, and the tension between them is where the series comes alive. The writing treats all 3 equally, which is rarer than it should be. If you liked Big Little Lies, this one belongs on your list. Number 6. Joe Nesbo's Detective Hole. Harry Hole is the most famous detective in Nordic literature. Joe Nesbo has been writing about him for nearly 30 years, with 13 novels published and over 50 million copies sold worldwide. Now, Netflix is releasing the first official television adaptation of the character, and the bet is a big one. Hole is an investigator with the Oslo Crime Squad, extraordinarily effective at his job, with an instinct for cases that few can match. He also carries his own demons: drinking, broken relationships, an inability to follow rules he considers pointless. Think John Constantine without the magic, or a Nordic McNulty with more cold weather and less bureaucracy. Tobias Santelman, one of the most respected Norwegian actors of his generation, takes on the lead role. Joel Kinnaman also appears in the cast. This first season adapts The Devil's Star, one of the darkest novels in the saga, where Hole investigates a series of murders connected by a deeply disturbing pattern. Netflix is releasing it simultaneously in over 200 countries. For fans of European thrillers and Scandinavian noir, this is exactly what they've been waiting for. Number 5. Steel Ball Run: JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. 1890, United States. A horse race that crosses the entire country from coast to coast, from San Diego to New York, with a $50 million prize for whoever finishes first. Thousands of riders. Thousands of miles. And in the middle of all of it, 2 men who couldn't be more different, but whom fate is about to bring together in a way neither of them can see coming. Johnny Joestar is a former paralyzed jockey searching for a way to regain the use of his legs. Giro Zeppeli is an Italian executioner carrying a secret that goes far beyond winning money. Steel Ball Run is considered by a large part of the community to be the best arc in the entire JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga, and that's saying a lot from a franchise that already has extraordinary stories across every part. The adaptation arrives on Netflix with a first episode running 47 minutes, a clear sign that the creative team isn't in a rush. The anime community has been waiting years for this. The studios involved have the full backing of the franchise behind them. If there is one anime that is going to dominate the conversation on social media this month, this is it. Number 4. Invincible, Season 4. Mark Grayson is not the kind of superhero who smiles for the camera. He's a kid who inherited his father's powers, discovered that father was actually the most dangerous being in the universe, and has been carrying that weight ever since, while trying to survive, love, study, and save the world at the same time. Invincible has spent 3 seasons proving that adult animation can be just as complex and emotionally devastating as any live-action drama. Each season has escalated in violence, consequences, and character depth in a way that few superhero series dare to attempt. In this 4th season, the story moves directly into the Viltrumite War, the largest conflict in the entire saga, where the Viltrumite Empire sets its sights on conquering Earth, and Mark has to decide exactly what he is willing to lose to protect everyone. Steven Yeun delivers the voice with an intensity that has grown season by season. Prime Video treats it as one of its flagship events of the year. For those already following the series, this is the season everything has been building toward. For those who haven't started yet, begin from the beginning. There are no shortcuts here. Number 3. One Piece, Season 2. There were every reason in the world for the One Piece live-action adaptation to fail. The anime is one of the longest and most beloved in history, with over 1,000 episodes, and a community that protects every detail with unmatched ferocity. And yet, Netflix pulled it off. The first season won over the skeptics, convinced the fans, and brought millions of new viewers who had never watched the anime. Iñaki Godoy as Monkey D. Luffy captured something that seemed impossible to translate into live action. That boundless energy, that unfiltered optimism, that absolute conviction that he is going to become king of the pirates, even when nothing in the world suggests it's possible. In this 2nd season, the Straw Hat Crew sails into the Grand Line, the most dangerous and extraordinary stretch of sea in the world, where the normal rules don't apply. New crewmates join the team. Chopper and Nico Robin make their entrance, 2 of the most beloved characters in the entire franchise. The enemies are stronger, the stakes are higher, and the story enters arcs that anime fans consider some of the best in the whole saga. Netflix is treating this as one of its global events of the quarter. The question is no longer whether it works, it's how much better it can get. Everything points to this season surpassing the last one. Number 2. Scarpetta. Dr. Kay Scarpetta has spent 35 years as the most influential character in forensic literature. Patricia Cornwell created her in 1990, sold over 120 million copies worldwide, and for decades the question was always the same: when does she finally get the screen adaptation she deserves? The answer is now. Nicole Kidman plays Scarpetta, a forensic pathologist who returns to her hometown to reclaim her position as chief medical examiner after decades away, and immediately finds herself face to face with a case that has disturbing connections to the case that defined the beginning of her career 28 years earlier. The series unfolds across 2 parallel timelines, the present with Kidman and the 90s with Rosie McEwen playing the young Scarpetta. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Dorothy, Kay's sister, a relationship so loaded with history and unresolved tension it could carry a series of its own. Bobby Cannavale, Simon Baker, and Ariana DeBose complete a cast that has no weak links. Amazon ordered a 2nd season before the premiere. Blumhouse Television is in the production, and David Gordon Green directed 5 of the 8 episodes. This is not a gamble, it's a statement. Bringing 3 Oscar winners together in the same series built around one of literature's most beloved heroines is exactly the kind of television event that happens once every several years. The trailer was one of the most talked about reveals of February. Number 1. Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2. Wilson Fisk won. The man who spent years running organized crime from the shadows now operates in broad daylight, with a suit, with a title, with votes. Fisk is the mayor of New York City. And from that position of absolute power, his first order of business is to eliminate the masked vigilantes of the city once and for all. He has the law on his side, he has the police on his side. He has the media on his side. Matt Murdock has none of that. The first season of Born Again was a turbulent process. Massive rewrites, a creative overhaul midway through production, and a final result that divided opinions. But it delivered something crucial. It proved that Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin remain one of the best antagonistic pairs in all of superhero television. Season 2 arrives with a clear purpose and without the turbulence of the road that led here. The story is more focused, the stakes are higher, and the return of Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones is the addition nobody saw coming and that could completely shift the dynamic of the entire series. The Daredevil fandom in the United States is one of the largest and most demanding in the entire Marvel universe. They have been following Matt Murdock for over a decade, from the 3 original Netflix seasons through this return. This season is the real test. If Born Again delivers here what it promises, it locks itself in as the most important superhero series Disney Plus currently has in production. All eyes are on March 24th. Number 10. The Burbs. Samira and Rob are a young couple who moved to the suburban neighborhood where Rob grew up, supposedly the safest town in America. Everything seems perfect until Samira starts to become obsessed with the abandoned house across the street. The neighbors tell her that something terrible happened there years ago, but nobody wants to give details. When a strange man buys the property and moves in, Samira decides to investigate on her own. With the help of her new neighbors, who turn out to be as nosy as she is, she discovers secrets from the past that endanger the entire neighborhood. The series stars Keke Palmer as Samira and Jack Whitehall as Rob. Also starring are Julia Duffy, Paula Pell, and Mark Proksch as the nosy neighbors. Justin Kirk plays the weird guy who moves into the house. The series is a reimagining of the 1989 movie with Tom Hanks, but adapted to the current era. It mixes comedy with mystery and has that tone of something's not right in this perfect suburbia that works. All 8 episodes are available together on Peacock, ideal for binge watching over a weekend. Just don't expect extreme horror. It's more mystery with tense moments and quite a bit of comedy. Number 8. The Artful Dodger, Season 2. From pickpocket child surviving on the streets of London to respected surgeon in colonial Australia of 1,850. But nimble fingers have memory, and the world of crime keeps calling loudly when you least expect it. This imaginative sequel to Oliver Twist reimagines what happened to one of Charles Dickens' most beloved characters decades after the original events. The first season ended, leaving us wanting so much more, and the second promises to take the story to new and exciting adventures. The romantic chemistry between the protagonists is absolutely undeniable. He constantly torn between his dark past and his promising future. She defying all the norms of her time to become the colony's first female surgeon. The villain's performance is simply perfect, creating a character you can't help but like a little, despite all his evil deeds. Well, the series mixes passionate romance, thrilling action, and period drama in a way that works surprisingly well in each episode. Number 7. Dark Winds, Season 4. Red sand as far as the eye can see, landscapes that seem from another planet, and crimes that mix the earthly with the supernatural in disturbing ways. That's exactly what this series set in the Navajo Nation of the 70s offers, a unique setting on television. 2 tribal police officers patrol absolutely vast territories where white man's laws don't always apply, and the ghosts of the past never rest in peace. The truth is that what makes this series special is how it deeply respects Navajo culture while telling crime stories that could happen anywhere in the world, but only work within this very specific and fascinating context. The lead performance is absolutely brilliant, a tormented man who carries his own demons while trying to bring justice to his community. It features renowned executive producers who bet on telling different stories and representing voices we rarely hear. Talented new actors join the cast for this highly anticipated 4th season. Number 6. Detective Alex Cross, Season 2. After 2 legendary actors playing the role in film, someone finally arrived who captured the true essence of the character from James Patterson's novels. The first season introduced us to a detective and forensic psychologist completely obsessed with understanding the minds of the most twisted killers, while dealing with the devastating trauma of having lost his wife in violent circumstances. In this second season, the main case involves a new mysterious vigilante who is systematically eliminating corrupt billionaires from the city. Wow, the series has really dark and disturbing moments that are definitely not for all stomachs. Renowned new actors join the cast as characters who promise to complicate absolutely everything, and the dynamic with his detective best friend remains one of the strongest points of the narrative. Amazon renewed the series even before the first season premiered, which says a lot about the confidence they have in this project and its main protagonist. Number 5. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, Season 2. Look, this is not your typical series of giant monsters destroying cities senselessly. Here, what really matters are the people, their family secrets, and how their lives connect with creatures that have existed long before humanity walked the earth. The first season took us on an emotional journey spanning half a century, revealing the origins of the secret organization that studies the Titans. Father and son play the same character at different times in his life, and the dynamic between both actors works incredibly well on screen. The visual production is impressive, with special effects worthy of the movies in the cinematic universe, although some fans complain that there's not enough screen time for the creatures. But that's precisely part of the charm, building dramatic tension before the big reveals that leave you breathless. The cast includes recognized Hollywood names alongside emerging talents that pleasantly surprise. The second season promises to expand even further this universe that began in 2014. Number 4. The Lincoln Lawyer, Season 4. While other lawyers have luxurious offices in skyscrapers with panoramic views, this one prefers the back seat of his Lincoln Town Car to receive clients, and it works perfectly. The series, based on Michael Connelly's novels, combines legal drama with thriller in a way that keeps you hooked episode after episode without being able to stop. Each case seems impossible to win. The evidence points against, witnesses lie, but there's always a clever way to turn the situation around. Manuel Garcia Rulfo has managed to make completely his own a character that Matthew McConaughey previously played in film, and many say he has far surpassed him. Neve Campbell as the prosecutor ex-wife brings a very interesting dynamic to the plot. I mean, that constant tension between the love that still exists between them and the professional differences that separate them creates memorable moments. The only thing some criticize is that sometimes the pace drops a bit in the middle episodes, but the final twists always more than make up for the wait. Number 3. Paradise, Season 2. It's no coincidence that this series occupies this position in the ranking. The first season was nominated for the Emmy for Best Drama Series, and the lead performances received well-deserved recognition from specialized critics. What makes it deserve third place is the absolutely unique combination of mystery, political drama, and science fiction that doesn't resemble anything else on television currently. A Secret Service agent trapped in a nightmare where a former president was brutally murdered inside an underground bunker that hides devastating secrets for all humanity. The creator of This Is Us demonstrates he can do much more than make us cry with family dramas. Here he keeps you hooked while manipulating your emotions in completely unexpected ways. The final twist of the first season absolutely changed everything we thought we knew about the story. This second season promises to answer the question we're all asking ourselves: what really happened outside the bunker? Number 2. The Night Agent, Season 3. From answering a phone that never rang in the basement of the White House to chasing traitors through the streets of Istanbul, that has been the evolution of the protagonist of one of the most watched series in Netflix history, a meteoric rise that few characters achieve. In this third season, the mission is to locate a young Treasury agent who fled with sensitive government information after murdering his own boss. What seems like a simple hunt turns into something much bigger when he discovers a dark money network that threatens to bring the government to its knees and expose secrets that nobody wants to come to light. Jennifer Morrison and Stephen Moyer join the cast, bringing dramatic weight. Let's say the romantic interest from previous seasons doesn't appear this time, things didn't end well between them, and it shows. What puts it in second place are its brutal audience numbers. The series was Netflix's most watched in 2023, and the second season didn't disappoint, so expectations for this return are very high. It's pure, well-executed action, fast pace and twists that keep you glued to the screen. Well, it has something few series achieve, being addictive without needing to reinvent anything, just being very good at what it does. Number 1. Bridgerton, Season 4. In elegant London high society of the early 19th century, 8 siblings from the powerful Bridgerton family seek true love while navigating dazzling balls, courtly intrigues, and the gossip of the mysterious Lady Whistledown, whose scandal column can destroy reputations with a single word. Each season follows the romantic story of a different sibling. This time, it's Benedict's turn. a bohemian artist who is captivated by a mysterious woman dressed in silver during a masquerade ball. She disappears, leaving only a white glove, and well, what Benedict doesn't know is that she is Sophie Beck, a young woman who works as a maid for the cruel Lady Araminta Gun. The story has all the elements of Cinderella, but with Bridgerton's characteristic drama. What firmly places this series in first place is its unprecedented cultural impact. Bridgerton doesn't just dominate the most watched lists, it literally changed the way period romance stories are told on television. It inspired an entire wave of similar productions, made period dresses fashionable, created a trend with its string quartet versions of modern pop songs. The truth is that more than a series, it's a phenomenon that transcends the screen and becomes global conversation every time it returns. And there you have it, 13 series that are totally worth it this February. From thrillers that will rob you of sleep to period dramas that will make you sigh. If you like this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss our upcoming content. Tell me in the comments which of these series you're most excited to watch. See you in the next video.